let's say for argument's sake, I mean, I didn't quite get your final. Do you think we see the rematch? Do you think we should see the rematch?
I don't think we will. Actually, I don't think we will. I don't know why. I just don't. I don't see it. Like
it's a different. I agree with you. It's a different sort of loss to Ruiz and Usyk one.
I think Joshua should. Can I say that? Yeah, I think Joshua should just. If you got one fight left of the Riyadh season, take the Wilder fight. It was a fight we all wanted to see. It's not. I haven't got the same allure now because you both like on coming off losses, and Wilder looks like he can't fight, and can't pull the trigger anymore. But it's still a marketable fight. We'll make loads of money. You will probably win that fight as well. Unless you box what you did. You'll probably win that fight, and then you can sail away. The only one that didn't happen was Fury. Or maybe Fury gets beat. That
could happen. Like, that timeline would allow
if Fury gets beat with Usyk
yeah.
again, and Fury shows a bigger decline, then you go, well, if I beat Wilder and I get Fury, and I go away then, and I've earned another extra 150 million, and I've boxed everyone in my generation, I've been one of the best. Because I agree, there's a period there, he was clearly the best heavyweight in the world. There was no argument for a short time. And then there was an argument with him and Wilder, and then it was him again, I thought. Then Fury took over. Then so he's had a great career. So I think that would be the finish. Taking Dubois, I think it's a hard pill to swallow, losing to a guy from Britain. When you're a world class fighter or a world champion, I know he wasn't at this time, but losing to a domestic rival is, I think, harder to take
on that stage as well. It's,
I think it probably will happen, because I think Joshua will want it. I think Dubois will want it. So for it not to happen, somebody will have to talk Joshua out of it, someone close to him, and basically tell him that they think it's a bad idea. Or I guess the alternative is that I know it's possible for other people to put on big heavyweight fights, and it's not just Turki Al-Sheikh, but for him to refuse to do it.
But to see him say he boxes Wilder, it might happen. There you go. For argument's sake, if he boxes Wilder first,
that's a good point.
If he boxes Wilder first and knocks him out, then we got that knockout.
He's back again
to build the fight with this one again.
Yeah. With the landscape.
We've said it's heavyweight boxing. You're one shot away at any time.
Yeah, and if Dubois has a real war and a hard fight with Joseph Parker, which probably would be, and it's really close, and he gets over the line and beats him.
I don't love that fight for Joseph Parker.
No, but just say for argument's sake it is. Then all of a sudden you go, oh, he struggled in his last fight, and he looked back to his very, very best again, and we built the whole narrative, don't we? As we always do.
I think,
and it's and Josh is the favourite again. He's not, and Dubois is the favourite this time. It's a closer fight all of a sudden because he's shown he panicked in those last few rounds against Parker, and Parker was struggling and made it really close. All that sort of crap. You just don't know, do you? Like it.
But a lot of it does come down to Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season, because he's the one who's put all of these fights on. He's the one who's created this whole equation that we've got at the minute of people beating other people and all the rest of it. So
just people fighting other people.
Really, it will depend. It will really depend on what he wants to do. I think Joshua would definitely take it, because I think that, and we talk about this a lot, it will be easy for him to explain that defeat to himself. He will look at that first round and he will blame himself. I think he'll look at that first round and he'll blame himself. And then he'll know that after he got dropped at the end of the first round, from that point onwards, the experience he had was the experience he had. And he couldn't really have done any more than he did from that point onwards. But the first round was a complete disaster. And he will feel that is on him, and that a rematch is a winnable fight. Right. Whether people agree with that or not is not really even relevant, because it only really matters what he thinks. And I'm as certain as I can be that is what he will think.
Barry?
Dubois will want it as well. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, Frank.
I'm not saying he won't
Frank
want
Warren
it.
said afterwards, if he wants the rematch, he can have the rematch.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I just wonder whether if Fury beats Usyk, or whoever wins that fight, whether Dubois might think to himself, well, I want to fight the winner of that, don't I, surely, for undisputed. But he may well think, in the meantime, I'll happily beat Joshua again. That'll be his mentality.
He'll be thinking it's money for nothing, won't he? He'll be thinking it's free money. That's what he'll be thinking. It might be a harder fight, who knows? But I think they both want it. It's funny with Joshua, because you think it's not the smartest move doing that. The guy who just dominated you for 5 rounds and you didn't really have any bit of success at all, really.
He's got history with taking those, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, but
different to Ruiz, though.
I know it's different, but it's still, people were telling him, don't take the immediate Ruiz rematch.
Usyk was
people were telling him,
don't take the like in the Ruiz fight, he was on the way to knocking him out.
Yeah.
And got caught
you're
a
right.
shot and
It
then
is
unraveled.
different.
In the Usyk fight, he got outboxed.
And he's like, I've got to use my physicality next time. I've got to rough him up.
And he couldn't do it, and he wouldn't do it the third time, in my opinion. But that's fine. There's no shame in that. Usyk's a great fighter, but Dubois did all those things to him. He outboxed him, outthought him, beat him up, bullied him. And so he might think, and he might be able to get it. He might be able to get it right. He's a very, very good fighter. But nothing on that performance on that night showed that he was a better fighter than Dubois in any facet. That's what we have to say. Otherwise, like I say, I could have beat the guy who beat me the last fight. All fighters could say that. But sometimes you got to know you know what you know. And so what we know as watching as spectators is that it might be a one-sided fight again. I give Joshua still a little bit of a chance, but I'd have to make Dubois a favourite, and we'd all change our fucking minds. So
I think his training.
Yeah, not all of us.
Not all of us.
If you just said that, well, like you just said, well, if I get it wrong, then I was just.
Hey, no, don't take it away from me. Don't take it away from me.
But either way, and that's. But most people went for Joshua.
Yeah,
that was a smart move.
It's a logical choice, wasn't it? I think his training team will. I think they will fancy the job too, because I think if you're Ben Davison, and he came to the press conference afterwards, and he took questions and he answered them really well, I thought. Yeah. But he will look at that. I think again, I'm kind of putting myself in his shoes, and he'll think to himself, I didn't really have any influence over that fight because he didn't do in the first round what we'd wanted him to do, and then after he got dropped at the end of the first, there wasn't really an awful lot I could do when it came to tactics. You're trying to get through to somebody in between rounds, but it's very difficult.
He's not there.
He's not there.
Yeah.
So he'd look at that fight, Ben Davison, I think, and feel like he just wasn't even really involved.
What if he did do what he was meant to do? What if he did say, no, don't say, I remember about that, making him pay? Maybe that was like, don't go right at him, draw him in. Maybe they did, it didn't work. Does he get the blame for that? I don't think he should. Because the fight has to take the responsibility for everything. But no, maybe he did do what he was meant to do and it didn't work.
I don't.
We'll find out now.
Yeah,
if that was the case,
from his demeanour in the press conference, Davison, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, he kind of sort of touched on it a little bit. He's not going to throw his fighter under the bus, but you could tell.
And he absolutely
it didn't go necessarily how
but
they
in that
planned.
division, like in any fight, once you get caught with a big shot, plans change and the fighter can't think straight.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what happened to him.
Yeah.
But Dubois' plan worked, and whatever they worked on.
Dubois did that to him.
Yeah, Dubois did it all. It wasn't like, oh, he made a massive mistake to start with. Dubois went out and hit him with his first shot first, and then bullied him after that. He was brilliant.
Yes,
I didn't see it. No, I wouldn't be shocked if Dubois would have won with a big shot. I didn't see that performance. No way. Nothing showed he could do that. And now he got the world at his feet, pretty much. Like, and he can pick and choose. It's great fights. I almost said on Saturday, I'd like to see him enjoy being a champion for a while before he mentions Usyk and Fury, or the winner of that. Because I don't see him beating Usyk again. No, if they fight again, I don't see him beating him. And
I'd fucking watch it again.
You would, do you? But
I get what you're saying. But yeah, just
what about
now,
him and Joseph Parker?
Remember thinking 12 months ago after Usyk beat Dubois, if you thought, okay, in 12 months' time, Dubois would have knocked out Joshua at Wembley, beat Hrgovic, blah, 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 and then we're actually talking about that as a realistic proposition again. We'd have never thought, would we?
This division is the maddest division. Always has been in the history of the sport, but I mean, it's the way that things change like that. Every season, they change. I mean, I don't mean boxing season. I mean seasons. Like some of this guy, but by autumn or the fall.
Shout out America.
No.
You said that with such disdain.
I know. I've been with Todd Grisham. We were talking, and it's like, no, what do you mean? I can't remember what he said. Do you mean this? I go, no, I don't mean that. I mean this.
You're in England now, Todd.
Borrow our language and make your own fucking changes.
I say Britain, not England. But
there we go.
But so it's like. And then another fight is taken over. It's like it's so volatile, isn't it? How it changes. So who knows?